Just Jed Brown going off.
Yeah.
It didn't look at all good. What can you tell us?
He's gone off to the hospital, so that's as much as I know. So physio's taken him up there, so just trying to hear. I don't know how great it's going to be, but let's just wait and find out what happens when he gets back.
It had that look of season ending about it, didn't it?
Yeah, it didn't look great. Didn't look great at all. So look, we just followed due process and not jumped anything before we know. But no, it's not a great sight when you get a guy going off the pitch like that. So.
It was a helter-skelter crazy game, and there seems to be broken bodies every which way, and you've got a pretty short turnaround for your final Shield defence. What can you sort of tell us about the rest of them?
They're okay. There's a few guys just, I think, a bit tired and a bit, the contacts out there were pretty big, so that can take a bit of a toll, but it was a messy old game, really unstructured and a lot of offloading and, probably some option taking. We've got to look at, what was on and genuine and what wasn't. And I think probably we overcomplicated a little bit both sides of the ball. So on the whole, it wasn't fantastic from what I'm seeing. We're delighted that we won the contest and we've got Earl back in the shed. That was a priority for us, and fine, we got a bonus point, but I think we're going to have to be a lot better than that.
Yeah, so just trying to do a bit much, just need to just tighten things up a wee bit and a little less excited. Is that?
Oh, geez, we get excited too. We love it when the boys they get going, but maybe sometimes our own worst enemy, and sometimes when it's on to clear the players, just do the smart thing, the simple thing, just get it done, rather than let's see what we can create and what we can create to be on. So I think today we probably made it tough for ourselves.
And to a degree, were you drawn? I mean, they clearly came with an attacking mindset. We're sort of drawn into their game in some ways.
Well, I guess when all the fun of the fair is happening and she's going coast to coast, it can be a little bit sort of intoxicating, can't it? You sort of just tend to go with it. But look, when we're on and we're clear and we're clinical and we get go forward and we're purposeful in attack, we look really, really good. When we're well lined up defensively and we're going forward and we're getting them behind the game and we're putting pressure on them, we look really good. And when we stop those offloads, then again, it looks really composed. And I think what you saw is two different varieties. We had patches of that, and then we had patches where it was really unstructured. And that's the bit we're going to correct. We're going to minimise that. Admittedly, some of that stuff happens when you get quite a wee way ahead on the scoreboard. So, we'll look at everything in context, but we're building towards the end of the season, and I just want us to be a bit better.
Defensively, what was your thoughts there? I thought in the first half, physicality was something that Tim really wanted to see step up. Did you think you saw that?
In patches. Again, it's when the offloads are happening and the momentum's not being stopped, it's quite hard to get a line. But the reality is, I think I felt we were composed there. That try at the end was a fairly innocuous one, but for the most part we're all right. But again, you're never satisfied. I think we're continually improving, and we challenge them to defend in a different way. And I think when we get it right, it's pretty hard to play against. And you see teams playing deep and trying to play deeper, and that's when we can hoover them up and get turnovers and really ignite the attack. So we've made progress, but it's not perfect.
What about set piece, line out of 3 in a row at one stage in the first half there went away?
Yeah, a little bit uncharacteristic, and I think they had a defensive policy which was new, it was different, and we didn't necessarily execute our options well enough. So we got back on the horse as the second half got on and had a couple of corrections at half time, but a little bit uncharacteristic from us there. The scrum battle again, this pre-engagement is a real test, and particularly when you've got big bodies on the other side and they're able to pre-engage. It's something that we're learning, and that series on the line there, I think Ollie Jaeger did fantastically well to make an adjustment. So he had a lot of pressure on him with a couple, and then he came back real strong. So that's a real positive. He's learnt on the hoof there that there's a different challenge in front of him, and the one thing we've got to recognise is that the other team's trying to play too, and they're going to try and play to their strengths, not to ours. So dealing with what they're putting on the table, I think that's something that we can do better.
With GG, can you tell us even if it's an ankle, Achilles? I mean, any
somewhere down there, and that's as much as I know. I actually genuinely haven't even spoken to the medics because I got the radio call up partway through the game that Roche had taken him up to A&E. So lower leg, somewhere ankle around that space. So. Let you know as soon as we know.
Cool, and just quickly, Richie Mo'unga seems to be that crossfield kick. He seems to be getting better and better at that. When you tell us about his game at the moment?
Oh, look, he's so composed. He's great to have out there, and the other part, you get Josh McKay on the end one. It's probably all over, isn't it? Those balls on the outside, him and Braden are quite quick. But look, Richie pinpoint. He's composed. He's accurate. His goal kicking was really of a high standard today, and we respected the fixture. We had a crack early on with a little special that we didn't quite nail, but then we went back to getting points on the board, and Richie delivers that for us. So I thought he drove our game really, really well today.